Alright, so what do we want to do next? I am personally kind of... I have everything that I care about getting right now. Mainly, I wanted the Amprex. That was my main goal for today. Probably the same engine. Maybe? Whoever was in charge of the environment design probably did something pretty similar. Let's go over Macbeth stuff for tomorrow. Oh, right, you're a high schooler. I forgot about that. I never read Macbeth. I don't know. Need to farm and vaulted stuff. I don't know if we want to do the planes. Yeah, we could do the planes. I don't know. What is the unvaulted stuff anyway? It's the Glaive Prime, Sicarus Prime. Oh, Bow Prime. Oh, the Bow Prime is currently unvaulted. Do I still have my Bow Prime stuff? No, I think I got rid of my bow bits. See, what game you wish was more prevalent in gaming? I mean, there's tons. Monster Collection, actually. I actually don't have any keys for unvaulted stuff. Do we wanna... I don't even know where to get the... I don't even know where to get the keys for the unvaulted bits. Let alone where to specifically farm them. They're all plains missions. Oh, it's Cetus bounties. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, let's go do those then. That's way better than key stuff. Whoops, that's not it. But yeah, what kind of game do you wish was more prevalent in gaming? Absolutely Monster Collection. I took a shower the other day. And I don't know what it is about showers for me, but whenever I'm in the shower and I'm just like blanking out, I immediately think of like mechanics for a game or like the plot of a story that immediately have this like burning desire to finish. And then, you know, I lose it because I have to go do other things. Like, I really want to play, or I really want to get into game development at some point, but how am I ever going to do that? Okay, so where is it? Oh, all of the keys are from the bounties. It still makes sense. Well, you want to queue up whatever missions you need? I'd like the Bow Prime, but I don't care too much about the Bow Prime. Okay, and who do I want to use for this one? I have too many characters. Let's go Nidus. I like Nidus. He's fun and useful. Yeah, shower thoughts. Yeah, more or less. But, let's grab my Baza. Let's see if the Baza is any good. My assumption's it's okay. I'll just toss Hellfire on it. Okay. But yeah, the reason why I want more Monster Collection games is because they're really, really stale. Okay, the Baza is really good. Awesome. Oh, what time is it? I wouldn't mind doing Eidolon hunting if you guys If it's close to daytime. It doesn't say it. Or nighttime. Doesn't say around here. Nope. Well, we're at like the halfway point. Hour away. I don't know if I'm gonna make that. Yeah. My, part of my problem is I'm absolutely starving. Yeah, I guess I haven't been eating a whole lot today. I've also been... I was recording for like several hours right before stream, so I'm just like a little bit out of it. But yeah, Monster Collection games are really cool. I grew up with them, and I feel like they kind of just dropped off the face of the map, or just like became super generic for no good reason. Oh, yeah. I guess the other thing I could have done was roll, I guess I could have rolled Banshee and just sat here to cheese things. Whatever, this is not a big deal. That's why protein bars, shakes are something you always have close on hand. Yeah, what I've gotta do is actually start just loading up stupid amounts of, smoothies. Like, I bet if I just had a smoothie on hand at all times, I probably wouldn't have to worry about the hunger issues nearly as much as I do. One of my favorite things to do is to ambush tusks and whatnot before they've dropped their load of dudes. And so the dudes all pop off before they can pop down. It's really funny. Works with the Astalin. It works really well with the Astalin. Works pretty well with the Automas. Not quite as fun. Guess what I should probably do is actually, you know, start tentaballing people. Tentaball! Oh, it's a Nox. Go figure. Let's see. But yeah, I want to see, like, Monster Collection games with really, like, in-depth mechanics. World of Final Fantasy, as cringy as that game was, had probably one of the most interesting... Oops, did it not? World of Final Fantasy had one of the most interesting, like, premises for a Monster Collection game that I've ever seen. And it bugs me because, like, I want to play more games like that. And I think it didn't do very well, which sucks, because, like, it actually had, like, cool mechanics. I'm barely getting anything out of this. Ugh. Like, I grew up with, Dragon Warrior Monsters and stuff, which might not have actually been the best game in retrospect, but it felt really good. And I would gladly see somebody like, I don't actually know if I have that. I would love to see somebody like make a spiritual successor to that, because the ones that, I guess the mainline games that exist for it weren't very good. They were okay. But they weren't like, particularly amazing. I didn't like the Joker series. It felt very limited. I guess part of it is it didn't rely on procedural generation as much. Yeah, I want to make like a Monster Collection roguelike. I don't even know how it would go. What I was thinking was like a game that doesn't even tell you the mechanics. Like maybe even your character is your character's illiterate when they start or something, so you don't even understand what the hell's going on. You just like crawl into a dungeon and it's just like, hey, there's monsters in the dungeon. They're trying to kill you, and maybe you beat something up or whatever, and like a monster's just like, hey, I like the cut of your jib. You were beating the shit out of that other monster that I didn't like. I'm gonna help you out. And so you just have a monster following you around, and you can't command it because you don't know how to like give it orders or anything like that, and you don't know if it's leveling up, you don't know if it's getting any stronger, anything like that. And then you have to like, your character has to find manuals on like how to do this, and just like several runs of, I mean, it sounds like it would probably be really boring and would take some time to get through, but the idea of like kind of pacing out even knowledge of how the game works would be kind of an interesting way of doing it. Wonder, have you ever played the Shin Megami Tensei games? I've played the Persona games. I played a little bit of Persona 3 and I played all of Persona 5, which has a partial playthrough on my channel. I'd love to make it a complete one, but Atlas is dicks and said no. There's nothing quite as crushing as like contacting a developer and being like, hey, can I put out the rest of my playthrough for your game? And then just receiving a flat no from them. That's just doesn't feel good. But I don't actually like the monster collection in, I like the monster combination in the Shin Megami Tensei games. It's kind of what I liked about, the hell is that? Oh, it's a ghoul devourer. It's a ghoul dead. But the combination system reminds me of what it was in the Dragon Warrior Monsters games. The other non-Persona games are good. Yeah, but they're also handheld, which is my issue. I don't really have this set up for handheld games, unfortunately. That costs like a couple $100 that I don't really feel like spending. Everyone just ignored them completely, though. As a person that relies on my channel, that relies on my channel for income, the idea of leaving myself open to a developer that has already said no, and being like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna put up footage of your game anyway, that is really scary for me. Because they could actually just turn around and be like, we're gonna delete your channel. And I would have very little recourse, because I have enough Persona videos on there that they could give me many copyright strikes. If they knew what they were doing. Let's see. Wander, you're a TV or mobile Switch user? I am both. Usually I have it on my TV just because it's my second computer monitor, so if I'm sitting around grinding, I might as well just, you know, put it up on my second monitor. Sometimes I'll pull it out, though. Part of it is, though, like, anytime I play the Switch has been caught on camera, so I generally have to. I have to have it on a TV because you cannot capture a Switch while it's, mobile. Unfortunately. Wow, there's a bunch of dudes up here. I was just like, oh, hey, there's my focus thing. Oh, never mind. Ooh. Well, I guess it's more Tentable, but still. I'm really glad I got Rage on Nidus. Technically, I do... Ow. And there was nothing. Oh, we're supposed to go up there. I haven't even been paying attention what the objective was on this one. There we go. Gara Neuroptics. Useful. I guess I did just buy Gara instead of actually making her. But I don't know. It's just not a good idea to, I'm gonna say, bite the hand that feeds with YouTube, because I know people that, like, actually have gotten screwed over just from copyright strikes. Andrew, my friend-ish, Andrew from Sad Games, he likes to play sketchy visual novels and dating sims and stuff like that. And so he did a video on, wow. I just wasn't even paying attention. Yeah, the guy playing the game with golden showers in it. Yep, that would be it. He made the executive decision to play a game that involves peeing on women, I think. And admittedly, that's a pretty dumbass thing to do. But he got a copyright strike, and it has just been making him miserable. So, like, obviously, beyond the told you so kind of element of, like, you probably shouldn't have done that. There's also just the, like, Ooh. Especially because his channel has been having issues for a while, just because I think he made the channel before, like, his knowledge of YouTube was, like, really that complete. And so they never grew particularly fast. I think they got really big from, like, a couple of games that you couldn't really pivot from. And so the channel kind of just died not a slow death, but dead subs everywhere is a really bad feeling. And so adding a copyright strike on top of, like, trying to keep the channel back up, or get it back up and, you know, not be minuscule, is just demoralizing. So, like, I doubly never want to be in that position, so I'll generally just avoid everything. Was it a strike by the dev, or did someone do a false report? Oh, no, it's not a false report. It's that sort of thing is totally against the YouTube community guidelines. Like, he really should have known better. But that's why, like, I don't put up the rest of my Persona stuff, because I know better. Even if everybody else gets away with it, I might be the first person to not. I do also know people that have gotten copyright strikes. What was it? Some small, like, I think small or mid-range, YouTuber covered that really gross-looking Super Seducer game. I got 2 keys for it, and I'm just like, this looks vile, and decided not to cover it. Well, this guy covered it, and was harsh on it, being like, you know, this portrays women in a really bad light, and, like, it's really creepy, and totally not how you should be approaching women and anything like that. And I just ran over Kuaka, sorry. But so this guy more or less was just railing against the game, and he got a strike for it. And admittedly, the you know, headline guy for it recanted and was, like, you know, offering him money and whatever to make up for it and all. But it's still just like, ooh, don't want that happening. I don't know if it happened to Donkey. I think it was somebody else, actually. What's Vigilante Surprise do? Oh, converts unused ammo pickups into primary weapon ammo. Huh. Oh, 5% chance to enhance critical hits from primary weapons. That's interesting. The golden shower thing wasn't a copyright strike, it was a guidelines violation. Yeah, the effect is the same, though. Like, it doesn't really matter if it's a copyright strike or not. The end result is your channel is kind of doomed for about 3 months. And then you get it back, and it sucks. Okay, well, I'm up for whatever if we want to just keep rolling bounties. I don't know if Altorial is around and wants to join or something like that. My voice is actually starting to go. We could probably just get all the 30 minutes till night. Yeah, I'm not gonna make it personally. I could probably do the next the prototype sabotage and find the hidden artifacts if we want to do those. Okay. Let's see. Altorial is here. We've got invites. See, if they filed it as a copyright strike falsely, that's actually a federal crime. It is, yes. It is actually a federal crime to erroneously DMCA a game. It doesn't, like, really get prosecuted generally, because, like, for YouTube, half the time it's just anonymous users on the internet, and, like, they just lie with their information. But there was a big hullabaloo a little while back. It was the Star Mazer DSP controversy, if you guys heard that. Where effectively the one of the musicians for the soundtrack, she wasn't even the main one, had she wasn't even the main like composer, but effectively she was like, I own this soundtrack, and these YouTubers don't have the right to have it in their games. Yeah. And Alex Maurer. And so she effectively went bananas on a bunch of YouTubers because she didn't feel like she got paid enough by the developers of the game, and took down all their I think she took down several channels. She took down the official channels for several games and, like, just a bunch of kind of fairly vile things. And so there's a fairly hefty court case going on right now, where I think it's still quietly going on because people are, like, suing her because there was, like, monetary issues. And I think also, like, it is a federal crime, so I'm sure that's going through too. But, that whole thing was stupid. Why would anybody do that? I have no idea. Stuck in corners. See, the issue is she violated the contract, right? Wow, that was fast. I didn't even make it here in time. Yes and no. So, she got let go early, and because health issues, she stepped away from the project, no big deal. And more or less, after the fact, like, a year or two later was like, by the way, you didn't pay me enough money. Pay me more, I'm gonna start doing these nasty things to you. And the developers were like, what? No, like, why would we do that? Like, we paid you everything that you were owed. Because I think she was, like, an in-house musician, even. Yeah, she did work for hire, which transfers the ownership. Oh, yeah. Like, she had no legal leg to stand on, but effectively was like, I don't care if I don't have a legal leg to stand on. I'm just gonna make your life miserable until you capitulate to my demands, which is never a good idea. And as part of it, she was like, I'm gonna try and weaponize YouTubers and streamers, which was never a good idea. And when they didn't just immediately flock to her defense, she's like, alright, screw it. I'm gonna threaten you until you defend me. And that was not a good idea. She, like, straight up took down some smaller YouTubers, even, like, mid-sized ones. I think Sleep Cycles, had to, like, step away from, had to step away from YouTube for a while. I think he took a break from streaming, too. But he was just that pissed about it. Let's see, my bad. YouTube strikes aren't DMCA takedowns, which is why they aren't illegal. DMCA takedown is formal legal action. Yes and no. So you can make a DMCA claim on YouTube, but it's not like a full one, which is why nobody's ever gotten, like, particularly sued for it. Because what YouTube does is, YouTube doesn't even send it along to the government, or report it at all. They're just like, okay, this was a DMCA claim, this is somebody DMCA claiming. What we're going to do is we're going to take down the video preemptively and then have them sort it out with the appeals system. I think it's called, like, Safe Harbor Rules Law or something like that, but effectively, this makes it so YouTube doesn't get shut down for having content that can be DMCA'd. It's kind of their way of covering their ass. Which is why this generally never becomes a legal issue. Until it actually, you know, does become one. And that's an issue. She filed claims against every channel with content she had music in. Not even, though. Like, there were certain soundtracks she had, like, certain songs she had no business with. And she would still file it anyway because she could. People get really petty, especially over money. Gets frustrating. I like to read legal advice on Reddit. Not because I need any. I'm very, very happily not in legal troubles, ever, generally. But I like to read it anyway because Schadenfreude makes me happy. And, it's not uncommon to hear about, like, families ripping each other off and, like, stealing money from each other and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh boy, glad I don't have to deal with that generally. Because that would be a problem. Oh, I'm out of energy. Whoopsie. Let's get some back. But yeah, it's a tenuous business, and I like to be as careful as possible. Even if it does mean killing a couple of series that I have no business killing. Or I have no desire to kill. Killing series that I've already finished. Every once in a while, I'll get like an email from a developer that's just like, hey, you can cover our game, but you can't cover past the third chapter ever. I'm like, why would I ever cover your game at that point? For exposure. I'm like, I don't think you really understand what I don't think you really understand what my, like, my style is on YouTube. And then people get strikes for it. I don't remember which game it was, but there was a game recently. Some indie game. I think it was like a suspense game or whatever. But effectively, you could not play past the 3rd hour out of 5 ever. And there were actually takedowns, but the developers didn't tell anybody. So that was like a big old issue. Oh, thank you, hearts in the chat, please, for the sub. And learn a lot from legal advice. Actively keep up with it to learn new laws or interesting cases. I do too. I always have to take it with a grain of salt because it's never always accurate. Like, people like to say that postal inspectors are like hyper cops, which I'm fairly certain is not true, but it's still fun to read. It's kind of like reading this semi-fictional historical dramatization of real life at the same time. Hey, is the whole battle for net neutrality going on? Not really. I mean, yes, but also no. Net neutrality is kind of just dying a dog's death, and people are trying to keep it going, and it sucks. Because that whole topic just makes me pissed. I mean, luckily, give it like 20 years and net neutrality will be like codified into human rights or something like that. Unless everything goes down, but yeah. Yeah, corporations. I don't like to get into the whole, like, rah-rah anti-corporation stuff, because it gets too close to politics for me. And I'm a fairly political person. Like, I keep up on the news and whatever. But I try very hard not to ever bring up my, like, views. And if it is my views, I try and go with the, like, most politically neutral or, like, apolitical perspective. Just kind of more the personal perspective of, like, freaking net neutrality is one of the only reasons why my job exists. To some degree, if Time Order had their way, you'd probably have to pay an extra $20 a month just to be able to watch Twitch, on top of whatever Twitch subs you have and all sorts of things. And they tell you they're doing a service in doing so. It's like, we're doing this so we don't have to, like, throttle you or any number of, like, stupid shit. And it's just like, yeah, it is racketeering. It sucks. It's legal extortion. Here's something that you normally would have for free, but because we attached a price tag to it and have an exclusive contract with the city you're in, you're fucked. I was looking into moving to San Francisco for at least a little while, back before my channel like got particularly big, and jeez, this Tusk napalm is stupid beefy. But so I was looking into moving to San Francisco because you know, I didn't have a job, and I was like, you know, I need something. And so I almost got a job at one of, there were a couple that I applied to and got, you know, far into the interview process. But a number of, like, game QA companies out in San Francisco, which would have been a really stupid idea because there's no way I could have afforded to live in San Francisco itself. But I was looking into the internet there, and, you know, staying with a friend and stuff, and it was worse than the internet I had in New York, which is terrible. Like, it was abysmal internet, but whatever. And so I was looking into it, and I was just like, why? I think it was like AT&T or Time Warner had the contract. I'm like, so why are you guys in, like, one of the most, like, technologically advanced areas filled with, like, a bunch of STEM people, and your internet is, like, pure butts? My friend was like, I can't do anything about it. City Council has a contract with Time Warner. And I'm like, that's stupid. Like, if Google has a headquarters in your, like, city, You'd think it would have Google Fiber, but no. It's so bad. You're gonna be looking for a QA internship soon. Blah. Do you have to do QA? See if you can get a regular game design or programming thing, or your skill's not really suited for that. Because I was going into QA because I was desperate for other things. But like, everything I know about QA is it is the most dead-end thing you can generally do in the industry. Like, you only work for the latter half of the game cycle. You do like really shitty stuff, and then they fire you after the project's over. There's like no job security or future in it. You just need to find something that I can get behind. I've also heard the overtime isn't terrible compared to like other things. I don't know. I was practically QA for animation. What is that? Wasn't a technical artist. I'm trying to remember what the term for my position was, but I was even worse than QA because QA for art and fixing all those animations, not fun. Should be better than your grocery store job. That is a fair assessment. I worked at a grocery store for a while, and it sucked. Material, what the hell? Oh, you're playing as... Nope. How did you cross that area so fast? Is that a, is that an operator ability? Because whatever that is, you, like, traverse the sky. I guess on the topic of better than grocery store butcher jobs and whatnot, so I live near a Whole Foods, and every once in a while I see job ads out, and I think the people that work at the Whole Foods get like $16, $18 a hour. I was getting paid $12 for like something that my degree was in. It was insulting. I recently looked up one of my friends and saw that she had recently gotten a raise so that she was making $14 an hour instead of, you know, the $13 she had for the past 3 years. I felt bad about that. I'm so lucky I got this job, more or less. I mean, I'm not entirely sure if the getting a job as an internet hermit doing YouTube videos for a living is exactly lucky, clever planning, or just whatever. I'm glad I got it, though. I got a tweet, a direct message from somebody earlier today, saying that they really want to become a YouTuber like me when they grow up, and I'm like, oh, that's a weird feeling. I'm actually, like, influencing people to want to become like me. I mean, there are worse role models. But it's also like... Yeah. I still don't want anybody to... I don't want anybody to follow my footsteps. Not even for the, like, no competition thing. I could care less about that. I've had competition since I started. It's more of the just, like... I'm terrified of, like, some poor kid getting into this industry and then realizing... they're not cut out for it, or it's too hard, and at that point, it's too late for them to go back to college or something. YouTuber as a desired job thing is weird because the chances of being one is so low. Yeah, well, the weird thing is, like, anybody can become a YouTuber. It's becoming successful at one. That's the real, like, flip.